Rap.
Let's go
Fly
ride
a
a
kite
bike
up to the highest heights.
There's not even any air in the bastard.
Welcome to Bikes with Bobby. Today I've got my partner in incompetence, Ro, over here. We're about 200 yards from the shop on our bike ride, and flat tire.
Just like that.
Sad days for all.
That's
so
right.
Today we're going to show you guys a couple different ways that you can fix a flat tire. Everything from just your basic tube install to tire plugs, and then some of the other kind of MacGyver-y fixes to get you back on the trail. So let's start with this guy. We'll go classic, upside down. What we all tried to do as a kid. When we were all fixing tires as kids, a lot of us tried using flathead screwdrivers. Not the best idea, because then you just punch that right through the tube and you're not really anywhere. So, Ro, why don't you pop that rear wheel off?
Sweet.
And we will get rolling. While he's taking that wheel off, just want to talk about a couple things that everyone out on the trail should have. We've got a nice little frame bag here. We've got our spare inner tube. You're going to need a pump of some sort. I'm lazy, so I'm a big fan of the CO2 pumps. That way you're not pumping for 15 minutes trying to get air in there. And then back to my comment about the flathead screwdrivers. No one wants to do that, so make sure you bring yourself a tire lever or two to help get that tire off. So, we've got our flat tire. Ro, why don't you go ahead, pull that valve stem cover, valve nut off. So
At least it doesn't take a long time.
That's true. So there's a couple things that we can talk about here that are going to make your life easier. One of the things that, if you've ever struggled to get a tire off of the rim, it's usually because we pop that rim off to get our tire lever in. We get our tire lever in and we try to immediately try to get that. If you look at there, all I'm going to do is break my tire lever. So what we're going to want to do, Ro, is take that tire bead and break that, pull it off of that little shelf in the rim all the way around. What that does is on the center section of the rim, it actually is concaved a little bit. When the bead of the tire goes down into that little groove, we get a lot more space and we can actually pull the tire off much more easily. So if we do that correctly, a tire lever makes it easier, but you should be able to actually pull that tire right off. So we'll pull this old tire off. Make sure you don't leave it on the side of the trail. There's that guy. And then we're going to take our new tube. You can put it in totally deflated like this. I'm a big fan of giving just a little bit of shape to this. So we're going to open up that Presta valve and we're actually just going to blow it up just to where it takes shape.
Make sure you hang on to these as a trophy of how rad you got.
Facts. You actually get more air that way.
That's true. Yep.
Yep.
And respect.
So, Ro, now that we've got that, we're going to start by putting the valve stem in the rim, getting that seated all the way around.
It's called AAA.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Got to get his cameo in.
As long as you can get a little Thomas cameo, life's good, right?
Cool. Now, one of the big things that people kind of struggle with at this point is a lot of people want to go straight to the tire lever to get that bead back on the rim. If at all possible, you should try to put your tire back on the rim just with your hands. Sometimes if you get that tire lever wedged in between the inner tube here and the bead of the tire, it's going to pinch it, and you're right back to square one with another flat tire. Cool. Now we'll go back, we'll grab our CO2 pump, and there's a bunch of different styles of these guys. Some of them you'll twist all the way on to puncture the CO2 cartridge, twist it back a quarter turn to activate it, pump the tire up. These ones are just spring actuated, so we'll actually just push it straight on to the valve core, it'll pump up, and we're ready to go. So, twist that till it punctures, pump it on up.
Sometimes it'll help if you hold. Just put your thumb on there, so that bounce down doesn't push back through. Did you puncture the CO2? Not as strong as you, Bobby. Oh, it's pretty far in there. Maybe not. You'll fail puncture. Really? As tight as you go?
One other thing, check that you're not using a previously punctured. Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Can't take you anywhere.
Is that beautiful or what?
This is why you ride with a friend.
That's right. And maybe a friend who doesn't hand you a cartridge that's already been used. Thanks, man.
Let's grab two of them.
I think we just grabbed two of them, dude. Yep.
You have everything you need?
Yeah, we're
Yes,
good.
sir.
Thank you.
You can tell it's my first time on a bike.
This is awesome.
You got one? Looky there.
Never ride a bike without you, Bob. Just like that. Gets all icy cold. And we're just going to keep that on there right to where
It kind of stops giving air. And then we should have plenty of air pressure to finish out our ride.
Throw that back on.
and by golly. Fantastic.
We're learning.
Isn't that what Bikes with Bob's all about? Just learning things, and I guess riding bikes. There's part of it there too, I suppose.
One other quick trick. If you take your shifter here, shift it all the way down to the bottom of the cassette before you stop. When you're going to put your wheel back on, you know to line it up right on that first chain ring,
Beautiful.
and everything will be a lot easier. Cool. So we're good there. We got that guide. We'd normally tidy everything up. I'm going to show you guys a couple tricks that might get you out of a jam. So let's say we're out here, and not only did my partner Ro here forget to swap out his CO2 cartridges after his last flat, but let's go ahead and pretend that he forgot to get the right size inner tube as well. So what do you do when you have a friend with a 27.5 wheel, or you have a 27.5 wheel and you only have a 29er tube?
Put it in there and pray?
Yes. You want to go ahead and pull that off?
Yep.
So we've got a flat 27.5 tire and a 29er tube. So we need to make this tube a little smaller, because if all we do is fold it on itself, it's probably gonna rub and it's gonna puncture not too long. But what we can do is we're gonna go ahead and tuck that tire in on itself a couple inches. And now our 29er is now a couple inches shorter.
Hmm.
You can also fix a 29er tube with a 27. It's much more annoying, but you can stretch out that 27.5 tube around the rim. Just make sure you pay attention to not pinch it. Like I said, it's doable. It's just a pain in the butt.
One side, the tire on. Again, anytime you're doing one of these kind of makeshift fixes, nothing's going to be quite as easy as it would be normally. So take your time and be patient with it. Now, you saw that CO2. Did I get you?
You're inflated. We'll put that back on and we're ready to go. So we've talked a couple ways taking care of your flat tires with this. And these are all just your basic inner tube swaps. If you have a more simple bike like this with inner tubes, pretty simple. But what do you do when you have a mountain bike with tubeless tires? First of all, everyone should still have an inner tube, all the tools. So if I got a flat here on this front tire, I can just pull that valve stem out and we can continue, put a new tube in there, get back to the car. It's not that big of a deal. However, there are multiple tools now that a lot of times you can get away with fixing your flat tire without having to pull the tire off, without having to put a new inner tube in. So having a tire plug kit is one of the best things you can have in your pack. This will save you a lot of time and save you a lot of headache. So what this consists of is you have these tire plug strips. They go by a bunch of different names, but they're all basically the same type of deal. And then you have this plug needle type deal. So you're rolling along. Let's say you ran over a nail. If you're riding on the road, you ran over a big sharp stick. I don't know, a whole bunch of different things. But something that punctured your tire, you can sit there, kind of put a finger on it. You know exactly where the hole is coming from. Sometimes you can just rotate the tire and your tire sealant will fix it right up. In which case, if that's going to take care of this situation, there's nothing you need to do. You just keep riding, that tire sealant circulates, and you're still having a good time. If it's slightly too big for that sealant to fix, we're going to use one of these plug kits. So I'm going to peel off one of these rubber plugs. I'm going to thread it through the needle end here. And then all I'm going to do is find that hole, stick that through, pull that out in a nice fluid motion. You're going to have these little pigtails. Don't need to worry about it. We're just going to leave that there. And that's plugged. That's going to get you all the way back home, at which point you can decide whether or not you want to do a tubeless patch on the inside or if you want to replace your tire, depending on the size. So, Ro, you and I are fixed up, ready to go.
Let's ride.
Let's keep riding. And see.
even though I'm just definitely not because I don't have enough air, but that's okay, dude. That's fine.
Hey.
Next time,
It's a good thing this is all fictitious. What?
It's not.
None of it's real. Life isn't real.
Oh my God. I'm gonna go home and cry. You what?
It's all just a simulation, man.
No, it's true. It's true.
We're just in the hologram.
It's true. Isn't it crazy that bikes were invented by Larry Bicycle when he accidentally lost the left two wheels on his car?
Actually, ancient astronaut theorists suggest that bicycles were invented by those from another planet.
Is that right? Is that right? The bicycle planet? No, dude. I think it was John Paul.
Planet Wheels.
I think it was John Paul Bicycle.
Orville Redden bicycle.
You son of a gun. Orville's kind of a...
And then if your
seasoned
friend's
man.
over here fixing their tire, the best thing you can do as their riding partner is make fun of them. Point out everything they're doing
I've
wrong.
never had to fix a wheel or a tire on the trail and not been made fun of. So
yeah,
I guess that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's facts.
Just consider your friends' feelings too.
Ciro, what'd you learn?
Man, I learned that it's way easier to fix a tire when Bobby's here to do it for you. No,
also check your CO2 cartridges.
Check your CO2 cartridges. Yeah.
When you use one, go home and recycle
Take it out of the pack, get rid of it, and then
get new ones.
I also wasn't really privy to the fact that you could put a 29er tube in a 27.5 wheel. So
yeah,
good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
No, you got it. This is
all right, YouTube. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to like and subscribe. You're doing it. You're killing it. No, keep going. And Bobby, we'll see you next week. Maybe Roe. Maybe Roe. No. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe Roe.
No. We might get rid of him.
Izzy, there's your friend. Maybe they'll be here in the next Bikes with Bobby too.
Oh, she's hunting.
Oh yeah, she is. Look. Oh, she's primed. Give me your best David Attenborough. House cat hunting for her prey. Here we see the great North American house cat hunting for her